Good day. Welcome to a new update in which we're going to discuss 3 altcoins. And we're starting with Verasity, and after that we're going to discuss some IDOs, which is Celr is the one. And second, we're going to discuss Fantom. And we're going to discuss the topic of when and where should you be buying those, as that is a very important topic to discuss. But before that, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Today, I'm doing a Q&A on Instagram, and I'm getting close to 50k followers there. So do not forget to follow me on Instagram. So, looking at the price structure of Verasity, the hype is insane, and that is absolutely massive. As I've got my own personal position since 2020 and I'm personally staking the coin. However, you should be considering the fact that right now the valuation of Verasity is around 300 million, which is already significant, through which if you're going to get an entry or looking for an entry for Verasity at this point, you should be quite conservative overall. Especially when you're looking at this entire graph. Right? We've had a massive run up in 2020 in the beginning. That was amazing. Since then, it also shows that when an altcoin starts to run, it becomes vertical. And then when it starts to correct, it is also a very harsh in a corrective manner. Verasity I've been covering throughout the entire period, in which I've stated levels that you should become interested if you want to get a position. I've marked this level earlier, I've also marked this one earlier. We've got there, we've also got those bullish divergences on the market. We've also got a flip here, and we started to rally back towards the all-time high region, after which another corrective move occurred, which practically was done because of Bitcoin being corrective at this stage. So this correction is granting us another higher low, right? So we're seeing those higher lows start up all the time. And we've even made a new all-time high. First question is, what is the next target zone that I'm looking at if we're going to get a new impulse wave? I do not assume we're going to have the similar strength in the impulse wave as the previous time. So I'm going to use Fibonacci as an extension. You can do it by the previous impulse move. You can also do it by the previous high and the previous low, resulting in target zones which you can derive. Those target zones are 9 cents, 14 cents, 18 cents, and 23 to 25 cents. Very reasonable targets if we get another impulse wave, especially when you're looking at coins like Solana, Elrond, and all of those. If they start to move heavily, usually it's a 4 or 5x from the previous high. So I'm not assuming that Verasity is going to $1, would be massive, but I'm looking at those targets. So if you have the assumption that you're looking at a target zone of 9 cents, your upside is 52%. But if you're looking at an entry right now in Verasity, your downside can easily be 23 before it hits support, and 34 if you're looking at a stop loss in your position, if you want to do that. Not really profitable at this stage, as that is not a risk-reward ratio that's going to be very profitable in the long run, especially it's only working in heavy bull markets. So what you should be looking at is that you should be looking at interest in retests, and you don't really know if you're going to get that entry point. But if you want to look at levels at this stage that you want to take the entry from, I think the ranges are quite similar to what I'm constructing here. The area around 4.9 cents and 4.4, this is the zone that you're looking at for a potential entry. Stop loss quite easy, or invalidation. You don't really need to have a stop loss. At least you have to have an invalidation or DCA opportunity if you get all the way back. Not assuming at this stage, given the construction that we have. But this is the region that you're looking at with a target zone at 8 cents. If it goes further, beautiful trade, you've done well. But if you're looking at the entry point around this region, the downwards momentum is potentially 18%, or that's the stop loss that you're looking at. The upside is 88. Well, if you do that in math, you get an almost 5% risk rewards ratio, and that is way better than 1.5. Looking at Celr, we've also discussed this one previously, and we've stated some interesting levels that we should be looking at. And I'm actually going to cover the Bitcoin pair, as we stated that we could be seeing a run to any of these regions based on the strength that we have, based on the previous cycle. And as you can see, previous high, previous low was taken, target point 2.618, with Verasity is 15 cents. With Celr it is around 500 sats. We've got there, especially in price discovery, Fibonacci extension will be used on and on, as that is giving you the only real reference point to take profits from. And since then we've had a very big corrective move, which actually resulted in a retest of this entire block, which I really wanted to get as a day trade, but I couldn't, and that day trade would have been good for 56%. I have to zoom in a little, in which we can see that we've had a very harsh corrective move and dropped all the way back down. If I'm personally looking at a chart like this for Celr, I think we're going to have some more time before it's starting to break out. If I'm looking at any entry points right now, I really want to see the area around 200 sats sustain as support, basically the zone where we bounced from. And especially you've got multiple levels here. So the first level is 250, and then the more important one is facing around 200 sats. If we get a corrective move like we've seen previously, or at least some longer consolidation, you can derive a better entry from that, or a better conclusion, and then you're looking at 200 sats in that region. Or when we get a little bit lower, 164 to 150 sats is the next level that you should be taking. So I'm not really interested too much at this point with Celr, but I've got some very interesting points that I'm looking at. Final one is the explosive Fantom, which basically shows the levels that you should be looking at if something runs vertically. So if we're using the previous high and previous low, we are getting some nice targets points, which was hit. And if you would have been avoiding any anger or fear on the markets, you would have had a run of 15x in 3 months. And I think that even in a bear market, after that, we get those runs, as crypto is going to be one of the biggest gainers in the next years after the crisis. So we do see that we've got this big run, right? So we're not really interested in taking any entry at this point, because we've once again hit that Fibonacci extension tool. Second information that you can get out of these charts is that a beautiful retest was done. We've discussed the topic about Verasity, and we've also discussed this retest about Celr. Once again, heavy corrective move of about 50% on Fantom, resulting in that retest of the previous high and this order block, and that is providing you the best entry point. If you want to get any trade going on Fantom, you would have been looking at an area around 168 to 148. If it comes there, it grants you the best opportunity, and then if you want to look for a potential entry point, you're using the previous high, previous low. Next target zone is the area around 335 and potentially even $5 if this one is going to have continuation. So that is my update for today. I hope you have enjoyed this altcoin update. I'll be making them more and more. Don't forget to subscribe beneath, like the YouTube update, and I'll see you again tomorrow.